Yes, today we're going to be discussing the planned strike that's about to, go on, proceed as planned tomorrow, Wednesday, occasioned by the fuel subsidy removal that's fuel now sells for 617 naira. So Labour has vowed that its planned strike must go on Wednesday, tomorrow, as a matter of fact.
To my fellow Nigerians and Nigerians, please, I appeal to NLC not to go on strike. Everything in Nigeria is so difficult for the rich, for the poor, and for it is worse to the downtrodden. I employ people, I'm an employer of labor in my businesses, and things are very difficult, both to the holder and beholder. And I'm sure the new president himself knows that things are very difficult. Nobody that lives in Nigeria, nobody that stays in Nigeria does not know that things are very difficult, because we that employ people in our businesses know that things are very difficult. Please, NLC, give the new government some time to sit up.
Of course, NLC is very upset that government had churned out promises upon promises to look into the case, but unfortunately, government, as usual, has refused to meet with its promise to NLC. Now, NLC is saying no going back on the planned strike.
In this place, the union is ready. Labour is ready. Government doesn't seem to be ready for dialogue.
So even, of course, the presidential broadcast where President Tinubu came up with reeling out palliatives to cushion the biting, pains, the effects of this subsidy removal, and the 500 billion naira palliatives, and also the 3,000 buses that they said is going to be, released to states. 36 states of the Federation, including FCT Abuja.
Fellow Nigerians, I made a solemn pledge to work for you, how to improve your welfare and living condition. It's of paramount importance to me, and it is the only thing that keeps me up day and night. For several years, I have consistently maintained the position that the fuel subsidy had to go. The cost of fuel has gone up. Food and other prices have followed it. Households and businesses struggling. Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. Part of our program is to roll out buses across state and local government for mass transit at a much more affordable rate. We will fund 100,000 MSMEs and startups with 75 billion.
So now, NLC is saying that even with that palliatives, that's, of course, which they say is not even enough. So they will go on the planned strike, and that they will not going to shelve the strike. That strike must go on. That's what the NLC president, Joe Ajero, is saying.
Our peaceful rally will go on as scheduled. Even if we didn't have this problem and we decide to hold a rally, we still hold our rallies. So this rally has been fixed for second, and we'll go ahead.
Now, let me tell you something. NLC, for goodness sake, we know NLC, how potent NLC was, especially in 2003, when NLC was seen to back and at the same time bite, where NLC was seen to be very powerful, NLC would not call. I remember the altercation and the then president of NLC, Oshomole, Adams Oshomole, that led NLC at that time. I remember the altercation he had with the then President Olusegun Obasanjo, the president I call President General of Nigeria, how Obasanjo really, Adams Oshomole really, fought so hard for the Nigerian masses. Of course, that was what brought him to limelight and then shot into his political fame. That, of course, he went ahead to win the election in his state and he became the governor. And today, he's a serving senator, all thanks to his struggle as the NLC president. What we're going to look at, which of course this is the meat, this is the meat of this video. NLC plans strike for tomorrow, and whether NLC will bite, or is this all about just backing? Will NLC proceed on its plan strike for tomorrow? So welcome to my channel, Shini's Digest. I welcome on board my new subscribers as I continue to appreciate my returning subscribers. This is the channel where we get to speak out and say it as it is. So now, will NLC embark on its planned strike? Is NLC a toothless bulldog who can only bark but cannot bite?
We have a president, a listening president, an engaging president, a president who will want to have a conversation and react. And he's doing that. He's really, genuinely, honestly doing it. So what we are talking and what the appeal that we are making out to, just not the leaders, all Nigerians, please understand what is going on. Please give us that support that is needed and required.
NLC has insisted that the planned action must go on tomorrow, on Wednesday, having risen from a meeting with the federal government where he sought to get the federal government to listen to the demands of the people of Nigeria, the workers, and of course the outcome of the meeting, however, didn't change the fact that they were going to continue on the strike action which they have resolved to embark on tomorrow, to press further for the demands that they want the immediate implementation in good faith of the resolutions which the NLC jointly signed with the federal government and TUC. They also want the immediate reversal of all anti-poor people policies of government, including the recent hike in the fuel price and school fees and VAT. And then they want the government to fix the local refineries in Port Harcourt, Warri, Kaduna, release the 8 months withheld salaries of university lecturers and workers, and to put a stop to inhuman actions and policies of government that have further impoverished the people. Yeah, that is the meat of my video today. As I said, that will Labour back and at the same time bite? Can Labour proceed on this strike? Because the people are looking up to Labour, the masses are looking up to Labour. Now, will Labour let the ordinary man down and then postpone or cancel the strike because the hardship is damn too much? Is damn too much. In fact, I was talking to a family friend a couple of days ago, and he said Lagos, that used to be very rowdy, chaotic, traffic jam, has become a ghost town. A ghost town where you can literally play football on the express for 10 minutes without even seeing any car. That people have resorted to trekking. So they've decided to be walking, trekking. So that is how bad things are. And it is not just removing the fuel subsidy. It is not just hiking the price of fuel. It is the trickle-down effects of this on other essential goods and services. That it's the problem, because government refused. Like I said, there's nothing wrong in fuel subsidy removal, but it has to be properly done. It's got to be properly done. Government shouldn't put the cart before the horse. I said in my last video that for government to have tinkered with the idea of even removing the fuel subsidy, government needed to have, first and foremost, put palliative measures in place to cushion the effects, the biting effects of this fuel subsidy removal. Because if you remove fuel subsidy, what that means to the common man, the common man doesn't even know what's fuel subsidy. All he knows that he drives or he goes to the fuel station and buys his fuel. That's what the common man understands. So when they say they have removed subsidy, which one is the removed subsidy? He goes to the fuel station and the price is double. That's what he understands. The price is double. Salary of civil servants remain fixed. Daily income, fixed income earners has not changed. The people will revolt, and they have warned the president that the president has to be careful to avoid the scenario of the Arab Spring. It started like this. The people are disillusioned, disenchanted. They are feeling dejected, forlorn. So the government has to be careful. Those palliatives the president offered could have been put in place. Trying to say NLC shouldn't embark on the strike, their usual story about hoodlums, hijacking the protests, and then the protests turning violent, just like what happened in the NSAS, which actually started with good intention and later derailed, that the protests might be hijacked by hoodlums and might turn violent.
Rallies and protests have never in the history been hijacked. But this language, each time we want to protest, that's the language we hear, that our protests will be hijacked. Now, when you have an information, as a security personnel, police, DSS, whatever, it's their duty to provide security for us.
And then turn a peaceful protest, a protest that would have been peaceful, to become violent. But of course, the NLC presidents, Joe Ajaras, assured Nigerians that, in the history of NLC protests, it has always been peaceful, and they should know how to manage such protests. In any case, government is supposed to come in and provide what is called security, so that it does not derail. Infiltration by people who do not have business to be there can be prevented, and that's the job of the government, for them to be blackmailed. That if you start it, if you commence the strike and the protests, and that's hoodlums will hijack the process, and the peaceful process will turn violent, and for that reason, don't protest. Of course, that is blackmail. Will the strike hold? Will NLC be bold to, proceed on the strike, or NLC is going to chicken out, if I have to borrow that word? This is where I draw the curtain for today. Thank you for finding the time to watch my video. If you like the content of this video, please give it a thumbs up, strike on that notification bell so that you get to be notified when I upload a video like this. Give your comments down below, and do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Remain awesome. See you pretty soon. Peace as always.